but talk about, I mean, I know you guys came in prepared for a tough defense, which they threw at you tonight, but talk about their three-point shooting. I guess, did that kind of catch you guys by surprise?
Actually, it didn't. I mean, Coach said, and we know it from last year, me, Steph, and Dom, the wall, downs, and we heard about Simon, they're going to shoot very, very well, but, I mean, they really shot, 66% from the game from three-point line. I mean, that's amazing. If you shoot that, you have to win. Doesn't matter whatever you do. I mean, a lot of those shots were contested, I can't say. But again, we got to work better in that with the movement, stopping the three-point line.
Same thing about the perimeter defense. I mean, given that was probably the biggest team you guys played so far, was it hard, like, getting over those screens to contest those threes?
Yeah, it was tough, but like all week we've been scouting them, so we knew what they were gonna do. We just had to get it done, and tonight we just didn't get it done. But they're a really solid team. They're really tough, and they know how to play basketball.
I don't think they really scored that many threes of the screens. They use more in the ball screen and the pick and pop to hit threes, more than just like regular screens that teams use.
So you think probably the next time is more of communication when you guys are in that screen situation on defense?
Yes, it was the communication tonight. Just when we rotated, we just all had to be on the same page, and just some moments we weren't. I think that's what messed us up tonight.
And on the offensive end, I mean, you guys, they came in with the number one scoring defense. Was it their length that really bothered you guys, or just like your execution against the defense?
Well, when I look at the stat sheet, actually, we didn't shoot that bad from the game. It was like 47.8%. What killed us was 3 points. Like, we shot 17%. That's awful. I mean, you can't. Again, stats don't lie. So, like, you really shoot bad. When you shoot bad like this, 17%, you can't win. There's nothing you can do.
We just have to knock down shots. Just shooting 17% from the field from threes it's tough. You can't win like that. No team can win like that. Even if you have great defense all night, you still gotta knock down shots on the offensive end, and it was a tough shooting night tonight.
Andrew, let me ask you about the offensive rebounds. I mean, you guys have a slight edge, for offensive rebounds there too, but in reality, anybody wants to do better on the offensive board. So why do you think you guys had trouble on the offensive board tonight?
I think because they just had all night. They had 4 guys crashing, and we only sent 3, so they always have the one-person advantage on us. But still, even though we our rebound on the offensive end by 2, even though we got the offensive rebound, we weren't finishing them all the time. But their length was probably another factor into.
I got one. Knowing what you saw defensively from Seattle Pacific, I mean, how do you guys kind of switch gears? And Montana State Billings are more of an offensive-oriented team. How do you, on 2 days, get ready for that one?
I don't know. We have to scout them tomorrow. First, I heard they have a new team, so it's nothing like last year. So we have to see. I mean, I know last year they were much faster team. The SPU is always like a slow team, but so we'll have to adjust to that. I mean, we have to do better on offense. We can't score 60% points per game. We have to score more. I mean, at least 75. So I think that's going to be a bigger issue tomorrow. We have to work on that as well.
And I just think, in basketball, you have to have a short-term memory loss and just move on really quick and just get ready for the next game. That's what the good thing is. We always have another game. So.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Guys, thanks.
Coach, why don't you open us up with a statement?
I got about 3 guys that can really shoot it. We knew that going in. The transfer kid from Washington State, 44, just had an unbelievable night shooting. I thought our energy was good. I thought our scheme was good. They just made shots. We didn't. We got to make shots. They made shots. They made their open shots, and we didn't make our open shots. But pretty tough to. They're good on both ends, so they make it tough on you on both ends.
Coach, can you just elaborate on how tough they make it on you guys defensively? Because I noticed, and I may be wrong about this, but like in the first half, it seems like Sergej was getting a lot of double and triple teams. It looks like also they were just collapsing in the low post on whomever had the ball down there.
Well, yeah. I mean, they're just they play low. They're very good defensively. They weren't really doubling Sergej. They just, they were just kind of bluffing at him, and he's getting the ball out quite a ways too. But it's nothing fancy. They're in stance. They play with high hands, and they keep guys in front of them. And so I mean, it's nothing magical about their defense. And they give you one shot. And they're fairly physical. So. You got to knock down your opportunities, and you got to, we always say you got to make your layups and your free throws, and that hurt us a little bit, also, layups and free throws.
And speaking of making it tough on you on both sides of the ball, I noticed on your defense you're doing a lot of doubling on the ball handler after the screen, which is good. It's like you had the first and second rotations, but the third rotation is where they seem to get you. Like, how can the team get better than that?
Yeah, I think we will. I mean, we were trying to trap the ball handler, trying to see if we could get it out of Downs' hands. And they did a nice job. They're strong. They're poised. They held up on the double teams pretty good. And they passed it out there. A lot of times, it seems like we were there and we couldn't come up with the loose ball. That's the other thing we talked about in the locker room was, what you call the 50-50 balls or the balls on the floor. And we just the last 3 games we just haven't got any of those. We haven't got on the floor. And so I don't know. We'll have to assess. But dude, they're so good inside. They got that. You saw the second half where they kind of started pounding it inside. First half they didn't much. They relied on the jumper, and so kind of damned if you do, damned if you don't. So we tried to trap the ball screens and rotate. We started the second half trying to switch the ball screens, but they went right to the low post and posted up our point guard a couple times. So we kind of had to get out of that. So anyway, we'll have to assess it again before we're playing. We don't play them for a long time, which is good. So,
Speaking of your point guard, 10 of his team high 15 points in the second half. Talk about the way that the game just developed for him.
Well, yeah, Pat, our point guard, he's showing consistency. He's our best player right now because he's just pretty consistent. I mean, he still had a couple, on the ball screen plays. He had a couple turnovers there trying to do too much, but he's playing within himself and he's knocking down the open jumpers. So he's been very consistent. I'm very pleased with how Pat's progressed. Now we got to get the other guys consistent with him.
And as we've been saying, like, it kind of came down to those threes, but given how good the team Seattle Pacific is, and you see, like, man, if we take away some threes or just hit some of ours, I mean, even though there's no moral victories in the loss, but you guys come away pretty pleased at what your team was able to do against a team like that, though.
Well, the way it ended, rather than losing by 25, we did a great job. We stayed with it. So I tried to use that positive twist a little bit in the locker room because we got to turn around and try to get a win on Saturday afternoon, which is very is very capable for us. And so, yeah, we try to stay positive. These guys are smart guys. They're going to learn, get better, and so that's kind of what we talked about in the locker room. But yeah, there's no question. I mean, they shot 60%, and they're tough to score on. And so, I don't know, we would have had to be really, really, really good tonight to win that game.
Well, Coach, I'm good.
I think. All right.